Well, hello and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of August of 2017. My name is Pete Connor, your show's host, and we're going to have with us today Owatonna Police Department in the form of Matt Oeltjenbruns, Detective Matt Oeltjenbruns, I might say. And he's going to share information about the Governor's Task Force on Protection of Children, which includes Min Prairie, and we could probably talk a little bit about how our county attorney's office plays into that, and other things. And then we're going to have Tanya Paley from the United Way, who's going to be telling us about the United Way's bus for preschool attendees, among other things coming from United Way. As a reminder, we'd appreciate any information you have that would pertain to guests and events. If you have someone that you would like to have some publicity about or some recognition about, why don't you let us know that? Give us a call at 390-5751, or let Leanne know that, 390-5751, and or by shooting an email to owatonnatoday@charter.net and tell us what that could be. So now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Detective Matt. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show.
It's fair time again.
Welcome to Matt Oeltjenbruns, Owatonna Police Department Detective. Right.
Hello.
Good evening, good evening, good morning, good day. Nice to have you here. Busy times down at the PD?
It can be, yeah, especially in the summer. I guess mainly for me, my busy time would be during the school year. I'm
You're a
liaison officer.
liaison guy.
Yep, at the Owatonna Junior High or Owatonna Middle School now.
Yeah, a middle school, yeah. Oh, let's talk about that just quickly. Site-wise, you're going to be still at what we used to call the junior high?
Correct, yep.
Right, okay.
So during the school year, I'll be there. And now we have laptops with the police department, so I can get into our network and stuff like that to be able to do my job as a police officer. Okay. But also, if a criminal issue does arise at the middle school or junior high, I can deal with that. And then obviously, I'm a liaison to the school, and for the school and the police department to work together, I guess, and just show good face, I guess, with the kids too.
Do you have an office there?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
But you're wandering, I suppose. You're
for the most part, yeah. It seems like at the police department for the summer, I can hang out in my office and not be bothered to get things done. Yeah. And it seems at the school, it's about every 25 minutes. Either have somebody stopping in or something's going on, or the bell's ringing. So you got to make sure that. Make sure the kids behave.
Yeah, hall monitor sort of.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Glorified security guard.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, you were one of those kids, at one time, wandering around, making trouble or whatever. Yeah. Let's talk about the program, the Governor's Task Force on Protection of Children, which you are in charge of for the department.
Nope, that's going to be Tom Munns.
Okay.
Corporal Tom Munns. But I've been to some screenings, and we've all taken part in this, but Tom has mainly taken it over. And during the school year, we get a lot of them also, so I'll deal with the ones that are in the schools, but Tom takes most of that caseload.
What does it mean? What is it, we talk about protection of children. What is it that your role is as a police officer, as a liaison individual at the school? Protection of children, what would prompt us to have this kind of a program in Minnesota? First
and foremost, obviously, the safety of the children and to have them reach their full potential. Obviously, some people in life aren't always as well off as other ones. And that's tough to deal with. And I guess this program brings that to a forefront and tries to make it equal all the way across, whether it's the legislation up in St. Paul, all the way down to local law enforcement.
Okay.
So I guess on a daily basis, we have a screening team, which includes the police department, Min Prairie County Alliance, and then county attorney's office, And it's not limited to that, but then it's, it could be social workers, it could be psychiatrists, that kind of thing, too, that could all be involved to be able to verify these reports to say if they're going to be ruled in for like a family assessment, or if they're ruled in or out on our end, we can look at it if it's going to be a criminal issue, if there's some harm that's taking place in the house where we need to deal with it on our end.
So this is kind of crisis management in a way then, or can be.
Can be,
not necessarily that it is, but your role as a school liaison officer is that you're going to see some things, or you're going to hear some things, or kids will come to you, and then you might be the initiator, I suppose.
Right. I had case in point last year. I had a kid that came up to me. I never talked to him before, and had some issues at home. And in the end, there was a really bad situation, and we got the situation taken care of. The kid is taken care of now, and in the place where that child needs to be and prospering, I guess, at this point.
Oh, good.
But it was a humbling experience, I guess, that I didn't even know the kid, and they came up to me. And they felt comfortable with me to be able to tell me, hey, this is what's going on. And you wish you had more like that, but I think with this task force, it's going to help out to make those kids come forward and understand that they are going to be safe.
Sure. How do the kids know about that? I mean, how would they know that you're going to be able to help them in a non-school? I mean, you're there, you're on site. You're a kind of a school official in that way. How do they know that the hundreds of them that are at the school, that you are capable of doing something for them away from school?
I guess my main thing is I want to be friends with these kids, unless they mess up, which we all have, right? But I want to be friends with these kids, and I want to be able to say, hey, I want to have that open relationship where we can talk about that kind of stuff. And if you have issues or you are worried about things, my office is open. You can come talk to me. And
does the school do any publicizing of it, or is there in the course of orientations, that parents come to know that there is some support for things that happen at home but show themselves at school?
That'd be mainly with our social workers, I guess, within the school district. And they are mandatory reporters along with the teachers, obviously myself. And so whether it comes from the social workers or teachers, I'll get wind of that and be able to talk to the kid, or it's reported to Mid-Prairie, or the police department ourselves. So.
Or other children might come up and say, that one is really, there's some problems at home with that, so I suppose the network really can take many forms. And the upshot of it all is that it doesn't have, you mentioned county, talk about the county attorney, typically we think of, now we got paper. It isn't necessarily going to be a punitive thing. We're not necessarily going to have you and others standing in front of a judge to adjudicate some kind of a penalty.
No, that's in a way that's last case scenario. So when we get these reports, it's going to be an intake, or it's going to be they're going to have the report, but it's not going to be screened in. Meaning, if it's not screened in, doesn't mean that we're forgetting about you. It means that we're going to that Mid-Prairie might do a family assessment to try to get the family on the right path. Different options for them, or on our end. We could open up a criminal part of it, but we're not there to, I guess, put people in front of a judge or put people at the detention center. It's more to make sure that these kids and parents get on the right path and be able to have a better family setting than where they're at.
So agency-wise, you talk about Mid-Prairie, but there are a lot of other organizations in town that provide similar services. I think of the Exchange Club, Center for Family. I don't know the complete title. Family Unity, and others who are doing that kind of ad hoc to the official, governmental, if you want to call it.
Right.
So they probably get in, or could possibly get involved in it as well. Crisis Resource Center, perhaps.
Exactly. And it's all started at the governor's office back in, I think, late 2014.
Okay.
And pretty much it trickles all the way down from every step of government or the places you were saying as well, to make sure that these kids can reach their potential someday.
How easily included into the day of the police department is something like this?
Something like this, when I was working with it, and Tom deals with it mainly now, but he's getting anywhere from probably 4 to 5 reports a day.
Okay.
It could be upwards, especially during the school year, where it's going to be maybe 10 reports a day, whether they're screened in or not. But we're looking at them, whether it's abuse or the kid has bruises or they're alleging something, something like that. So
it's kind of a hand in glove thing. It's just another part of the whole law enforcement protect and serve process that we have with people.
This task force also it's considered cross-reporting now. So sometimes maybe somebody fell through the cracks. Okay, and so now with Mid-Prairie County Alliance and us looking at it, we're trying to eliminate that totally, so that we can make sure those kids reach their potential someday, and that they're not getting left behind or having issues the rest of their life.
This is district-wide, so every school.
Yep.
Not just the
all
middle school.
Yep.
It'll be all schools.
Yeah, Mid-Prairie County Alliance is Dodge County, Waseca County, and Steele County. So they have a wide range of area and deal with quite a few people.
So other school districts, other PDs in that service delivery area provide those similar services to what you are doing at their respective schools.
Correct. Yep.
There's no cross. You don't go over to Dodge County and do anything over there.
But they have social work, or they have people at Mid-Prairie that we get on camera with and do the screening process with. So we're understanding their part of it, and they're understanding our part of it. So we're all talking in a large group, I guess, to be able to understand that.
The program has been, as you say, from 2014. So I suppose looking at any, qualitative, quantitative results, it might be a little bit early yet, but we might be seeing some things that tell you that you're on the right track.
Yeah, I would very much agree with that, and I think some of the cases that we're dealing with, and along with Mid-Prairie, we're not seeing the repeat family reports. Maybe in the beginning, but not so much anymore.
Sure.
So it's showing that something is helping, whether it's their assessments that they're doing or the stuff that we're able to provide them to be able to get on the right path.
It's a good deal. Well, these are one of these kinds of shows when we have you or your colleagues here to see, as time goes on, how we're tracking. What have you done to tweak? What have you done, to make it better, and so that we are really getting the results that you're anticipating from the beginning, from what the legislature and the governor did back a few years ago. So, best wishes with that.
Thank you.
And thanks for being here to tell us about it.
Not a problem.
Be safe, always. Yeah.
Sounds very good.
Good. And we'll catch up the next time.
Sounds like a plan.
All right,
you.
Thanks, Matt. And thank you for being with us today as well. We're going to now take some time for some sponsored messages, and then we'll be right back with Tanya. So please stay tuned.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Recreational fires are allowed within the Owatonna city limits. They must be contained within a fire pit or a device designed for such use, and can be 3 feet in diameter and no more than 3 feet high. They must be 25 feet from a building or combustibles. Only untreated or unpainted woods must be used. Fires must be attended by a person at all times that are capable of extinguishing the fire. This has been a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, I'm Betsy Linger from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
At Triumph Graphics, we think beyond ink. That's why you should make us your source for creative concept, design, print, mail, and web. Check us out today at triumphgraphics.com.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say. a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and welcome to Tanya Paley.
Yes,
Hello,
hi
again.
Pete. Nice to be back.
Nice to be back. Nice to have you here. I wanted to sing. The wheels of the bus go round, round, round.
That's right.
Yeah. Because we're going to talk about busing today, aren't we?
Especially for children. It's a Children's Day, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I think before we get there, though, I want to inquire, because I was involved in United Way years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was pretty structured. You know, we had agencies and we had allocations and, you know, we had fundraising and all of that. But this doesn't feel like that. You know, what's happening coming out of United Way today. What, in terms of strategic direction, how does it come to pass that we're doing something like this, adjunct to the agency support that United Way has been known for? So many years,
Yes. So several years ago, probably about 4 years ago now, our United Way took a look at, this is something that other United Ways have also been doing, so we weren't the only ones, but really to look at, okay, we don't want to stop providing the support to the agencies, certainly, but we also recognize that by the time they get to the food shelf or the, clothesline, there have been some missed opportunities. There are some things that we could probably be doing as a community, maybe a little bit more proactively to address gaps and barriers that community members face. And so our board went through a strategic planning process and got a lot of community input, and we continue to get a lot of community input each year on kind of where are those gaps, where are those barriers to success. So we call these opportunity programs, and they're part of a strategic plan for income, education, and health. And actually, preschool transportation sounds like education, but it's actually both income and education because it touches on the parents as well.
Before we go in more depth into the busing program, what are some of the other opportunity programs that United Way is involved in?
Yep. So several other ones that I could call out would be, we have our Boots to Work program, so that provides steel-toed boots for folks to be able to take a job. I was just talking to somebody who said, I have to provide, I'm going through a staffing agency, I'm not a full-time employee, I have to provide my own steel-toed boots. Well, that costs $100, right? It's a good paying job, but you have to get over that barrier. So that's one that we are doing. Another one that we have been involved in is the food shelf now has a mobile food shelf, and so that was addressing kind of that intersection between transportation and nutrition or health. And making sure that we participated in writing that grant, and we've been supporting that, and so that's another example. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Neil was just telling me that we just hit 1,200 of children in Steele County that are receiving books every month. So another children's initiative. But we have them in income, education, and health. Oh, one more, Pete, our job counselor at the high school. So helping make that transition from high school into the workforce, helping students figure out perhaps college isn't for them or four-year college isn't for them right away. How can they really connect to good opportunities? So that's a partnership with the chamber, the schools, and then also workforce development.
Sure, I remember talking with Brad Meyer about that when he was on not long ago.
Right.
And just on Monday we talked about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library with the Rotarian, with Jason Iberg, who was here to talk about
so
that.
all of those pieces connect together into our strategic plan to address opportunity in income, education, and health.
So this whole idea, this collaborative effort, really brings a strength to our community that wouldn't be there if it didn't. If it's a silo-oriented thing, we probably wouldn't even understand how this all works.
Right, and all of these opportunity programs are collaborations with multiple partners and multiple stakeholders that are working together. And United Way's role has just been to help convene that and then provide some funding.
Okay, so the funding, there's a piece of the pie, of the the money that comes in every year through the annual fundraising. So you'll take a piece of that pie and you put it into the opportunity programs.
Right.
And then the rest will go to agencies as per usual.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
that's exactly right.
Let's get on to this, the busing thing, for preschoolers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So the bus is indeed going all around the town here in Owatonna. Yes. And we've been doing registration through preschools. So church-based preschools, Head Start, Roosevelt's early learning programs. All of those parents have hopefully heard about the opportunity to use the bus, to sign their child up for the bus. And we indeed have had, I think we have over 100 applications already for parents that would like to take advantage of this service. So for families that can afford it, it's $1 a ride, and they get to choose whether they'd like their child to go to school on the bus or come home from school on the bus. And they can come home or they can go to a child care. So it's really also looking at how can we make things easier for the parents, right? And especially if they're working or maybe they have a young child at home and it's very difficult to leave, or maybe they don't have a car. So all of those are barriers to being able to attend preschool. And of course, we know how important preschool is. So if they can afford it, they pay the $1 a day, and that's kind of a great service that SMART provides. If they cannot afford it, if they're income eligible, that's where United Way comes in. And we provide a scholarship for their for the rides. It's just automatically, they're just opted in. The preschools will let us know which families qualify. And then we are very happy to support that ride to preschool for them.
How many? Is this brand new, or have you done this before?
We started this last year. So we've had one school year under our belts, and we're going into the second year. So in the first year, there were about 80 students transported on the bus, and about half of them received United Way scholarships.
We talk about, so much about, safety, child safety from home to school. Children walk from, neighborhood schools are there because it should be close. But the whole safety issue is so paramount anymore.
Right.
How does it work? So you have a child gets on the bus at home.
Right.
And rides to how many blocks? Now what happens when they get to the site?
So when they get to the preschool, if that's the direction they're going, there is a staff member from the preschool that meets the bus, walks the children in to make sure they get where they need to go. If they're getting picked up, so that would be a reverse process. The staff would make sure that the children got safely to the bus. And then if they're going home or to a child care site, one of the things we tell parents is there needs to be an adult. They can do it from the window or the door. They don't have to go all the way out to the bus, but they need to signal that they're home, or they're aware that the child is on their way from the bus into the home or into the daycare.
Does the bus driver wait until she knows that the child is in whatever building it?
Yep, absolutely. The bus driver is not going to pull away until the child is safely inside. Right. And so this is something that also happens in Austin and Albert Lea. They have a preschool bus. And so we looked at that and just kind of followed SMART, what works in other communities. I think I can say that last year that they did not need to do this, but if they need to, they will take the child to the police station if there's no adult available, because they need to make sure that child is safe. So safety is paramount. There were no problems last year, but they're certainly not going to leave a child unattended.
Children of what ages now are involved in this program, so therefore into preschool?
Yep.
How old?
They can start, I believe, 3 years old.
3, okay.
Yep. And parents sometimes ask, do they need a car seat? They don't need a car seat on the bus. They have a seat belt. There is an adult, so Roosevelt's Community Ed program has generously volunteered a staff member who will ride the bus with the students and make sure that they get their seat belts buckled and that they're safe.
Any sense for what participation rates are going to be or levels are going to be yet for this year now as we're coming closer to school time?
Well, the exciting thing is that we have, I think more demand than we can meet in the fall. But SMART has applied for another bus, and starting in January, there will be 2 buses doing this route. So, I think we should be able to transport about the same number of children, 80 or so, starting out at the beginning of the school year, and then we may be able to increase that. SMART may be able to increase that in January.
Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. It's another good program. All for the little people. We need to take care of our little people.
We do, yes.
Good. Well, thanks for telling us about all of that and the other things as well. Always good to have you here on the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
We look forward to having you back the next time for something special.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
Good. And thanks to you for being with us today as well. We're going to take some time now for sponsored messages, and then we'll be right back. So please stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and some community announcements for you now. The public is welcome to nominate an individual for Culture Fest Ambassador Award to the person who best illustrates the core values of Culture Fest. For an official application form, please visit our website at www.culturefest.org, or you might write a letter of nomination to the P.O. Box 1015 in Owatonna, or if you have questions, feel free to contact Laura Ressler at 456-7738. Penny George Institute for Health and Healing at Owatonna Hospital has expanded its retail services by adding Healing Touch and Wellness Coaching. To learn more about the programs and services at Owatonna Hospital's Penny George Institute Outpatient Clinic, visit alinahealth.org, or to make an appointment, call 507-977-2828. Every week we have free meals available at various places. On Tuesdays, St. Vincent's Table at St. Joe's Catholic Church, serving from 5:30 to 7 p.m. On Wednesdays, Bethel Community Supper at Bethel Baptist, serving from 5 to 6 p.m. And on Sunday, Meals of Hope at Trinity Lutheran, serving from 5 to 6:15 p.m. Owatonna Early Edition Rotary Club will be hosting a corn feed on Tuesday, August 29, 2017 at the Owatonna Eagles Club from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The cost is $9 for adults, or for anybody that's older than 6. 6 and under are free. Menu will feature sweet corn, chicken breast, bun, potato salad, cookie, and beverage. Free delivery for orders of 5 meals or more is available. And the proceeds will benefit the Patriot Skies 4th of July fireworks, the kindergarten book donation, and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library projects. Tickets are available from any member of the Early Edition Rotary Club and at the door. And finally, the Owatonna Foundation is pleased to announce its next grant application deadline on September 1st of 2017. Owatonna-based nonprofit organizations that are working on capital-type projects in the areas of community, arts, education, and recreation might apply. For more information, call Laura Ressler, Executive Coordinator, at 507-455-2995, or email her at info@owatonnafoundation, all one word, .org. And that's going to take care of it for today. Please come back on Friday, because we will have City Administrator Chris Bussey and Airport Manager Dave Beaver with us, as well as a special time, I'm looking forward to this, to have our 2017 Steele County Citizens of the Year. Thanks for being with us today. Enjoy the next couple of days, and we'll see you back here on Friday.